Welcome back, Southwest Florida. We're so thrilled to introduce our first guest on the show. He happens to be a member of one of those great fraternities, not one of them, the best fraternity in all the land, Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. We'll get that in. He's also a leader in our community. My fraternity brother, of course, Tracy McMillion, Battalion Chief of Training, Iona McGregor Fire Department District. Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, good to get you on, man.
Good to be here.
Frat. Hey, look, man, you got this long title, all of this. With that title, does a lot of money come?
I do all right.
I know you thought you were going to come in here and be all serious with Lee, man. You do okay?
We do okay, yeah.
Hey, man, first of all, I want to compliment you on how you look, man. That's just so impressive, and it's so impressive for young people to see a person of your skin color dressed like that. But behind all of that comes a lot of training and knowledge and discipline. Tell us about your background.
Well, for me, I got in the fire service some 21 years ago. I was a volunteer up in Edenville, Florida, and put an application out here at City Fort Myers. So I worked at City Fort Myers for roughly about 7 years, and after that I got with Iona McGregor Fire District and had the opportunity to work for them for the last 13 years.
Okay.
And I also had the opportunity to work as the coordinator of the Fort Myers Fire Academy. And that's where I put in a lot of work and working with a lot of folks. And just had the opportunity to just kind of rise a little bit through the ranks from firefighter to training captain and now to battalion chief.
Okay.
Training, so.
One of the things I thought about that's not a part of our discussion, I want you to elaborate on it, is when we have natural disasters.
Yes.
As soon as we had warnings about, Hurricane Matthew coming through the state and all of that, I said, what is, in Lee County area, what is the fire department doing in advance? Kind of take us behind the scene when we have a natural disaster. Not necessarily where we are, how you guys start prepping and how in advance you start prepping.
Well, there's a lot of agencies that work together in a unified way of doing it. So we have Lee County Emergency Management that works hand in hand with Lee County Sheriff's Office, all the city police departments, as well as fire and EMS. So we all work together. So anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 weeks out. I mean, the storms could be off the coast of Africa,
really?
Not even hit Bahamas, anywhere like that, and we're already tracking, we're already planning, already coming up with incident action plans, looking at possible ways to mobilize, what type of resources we'll need. So all that stuff is taking place. We're actually assigning crews. If this happens, these folks will go here. If this happens, they'll do this. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that daily getting reports every half hour just saying, hey, this is what's happening. Matthew, it's moving west, it's moving west. So everyone kind of queues up and pays attention and try to get their personal affairs in order that, God forbid, something were to happen, we're able to leave immediately and take care of the needs of our citizens.
So here in Southwest Florida, particularly Lee County, we should feel pretty comfortable that our emergency, I guess we call first responders types, are Johnny on the spot and up on what's going on.
Oh yes, sir. Everyone's top notch. You have some folks with a lot of experience. Having worked with Charlie, there's some folks that work for Lee County Emergency Management that have actually handled some Katrina things. We're first in on that. So a lot of the responders work on a day-to-day, and there's a lot of things that go on training-wise behind the scenes that most people never see. But we're always prepping, always preparing for that day that, God forbid, if it ever comes, we're ready to be able to take care of folks here in Lee County.
One of the things I want to remind my viewers that you'll see throughout this interview, the contact information for Tracy McMillion coming up on the screen. If you want to contact him for any of the emergency agencies, he can get you in touch with them for employment opportunities, training, whatever you may find that you need. How does one become a firefighter?
Well, I think the number one thing is got to have a desire. You want to have a desire to actually go out and help people, to want to be a public servant. That's one of the things that people have to understand is that we are here to serve. That's the bottom line. At the end of the day, that's what we do. We serve the needs of the public. But you need to actually get educated. So one of the places that there's many schools here in Southwest Florida that they can attend. Fort Myers Fire Academy, they can attend there. Edison, or actually now it's Florida Southwestern, actually has a program as well. MCI does as well. So once you get that fire training, it's roughly about 500 hours, contact hours, and then you can actually get certified in the state of Florida as a firefighter. And then we also run fire, we also do medical as well. So most agencies will want you to be at a minimum emergency medical technician, and you can attend schools, the same schools for that to get that certification. So we have that dual role. And once you have that, you're ready to go out and get a job.
Now that I would assume you have to make an investment in terms of there's a certain fee you might pay for these different courses or training.
Yes, sir.
Invest in yourself, and then you could be skilled to go to the next level. Talk about the cost.
So depending on what school you go to, schools can run anywhere from $3,000 to roughly about $4,000 for the basic fire program, anywhere from $1,200 to roughly about $2,000 for the EMT program. So roughly in about 6 months to about a year, you could invest with minimal cost. If you think about the cost of education, you could actually invest in that about $7,500 at the maximum and actually gain a job that will give you a lot of returns of benefits. Average job starts off anywhere from $30,000 to $45,000 your first year to start. So
now, at the fundamental level, would one need just a high school diploma or GED, or do you need some kind of college degree as well?
no, just a high school diploma or GED, but it is very competitive. So the more that you bring to the table, obviously the more you have to offer. But just as a basic requirement, just high school diploma or a GED.
Is it fair to say that there's career opportunities there? It's a growth industry. There are always opportunities there?
Yes, I mean there's a lot of opportunities that present through expansion, a lot of opportunities that present through attrition. There's a lot of folks that are retiring. So if you think about most of the fire agencies in this county started, 25, 30 years ago. So a lot of those folks who've been in the business that long are now retiring, which are creating opportunities for folks to come in.
And good benefits too.
Lots of good benefits.
Now, diversity. Do we see a lot of diversity in the field, particular race diversity and sex diversity?
It's getting better. And so when you look at diversity within an organization, some of the things that I always like to look at is not just the folks foot on the ground, but also look at the folks in administration. So to get a true test of diversity. So that's the area I think within the fire service where we struggle with our administration, having that diversity. It's getting better. It's not quite there. But
why is diversity important though?
Diversity is important to be able to just take care of the needs. There again, as one of the statements said, we're public servants. We're there to be able to serve the public. So it's always easier if someone sees someone like them that can relate to some of their experiences, some things they've been through to actually meet their need. And so when we serve a multitude of different cultures, it's good to have the understanding. So we're able to have training sessions in which we can talk about different cultures, different type of cultural responses to different type of emergencies, so our responders are better served and better equipped to be able to handle the needs.
Now, when I think about firemen, now, you got on some fancy stuff there. I mean,
Yes.
Stuff on your shoulders, on your collar. Just look like you're a decorated guy. You're a battalion chief. What is that?
So a battalion chief of training is actually, I run the training division. So it's my job, my responsibility to train our 100 employees in fire service and EMS. So constantly going out there to the training ground, teaching new techniques, reiterating old techniques, working with emergency management type skills, working with medical skills, just to make sure our responders are ready to be able to take care of your need whenever you call for them.
Now, the old image of firemen sliding down the fire pole with the Dalmatian dog,
Yes,
and you probably work like 3 days a week and you're off for 4 days a week. I'm just throwing
Yes.
stuff out. Tell me what the schedule is like.
So a typical schedule, depending on what organization you work for, is going to be you work 24 hours and be off 48 hours.
Like that?
Yeah, so every third day. So roughly about 10 days out the month that actually you're working without taking vacation. So, but with that, you are working 24 hours. And
Okay.
there are calls that come 2 o'clock at night, 3 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter. Emergencies don't have a schedule. They just come when they come. So you are working for those 24 hours. But then you have 2 days to kind of recuperate and time to spend with your family outside of that. So.
Okay. Final question. Height, weight, strength, any kind of basic things you have to be a fireman?
The main thing is heart. You got to have the willingness to be able to do the job. So as far as weight, obviously folks who are in shape will do better in this profession. It is a very active, just like any sport, very active type of job and profession. So there is no requirements as far as if you're this heavy or this small or this or that or gender.
This tall.
Just the ability to do it. And there's techniques we can teach you. If you
Okay.
have the heart, the willingness, the dedication, the desire to get the job done, we can teach you. We can
Okay.
teach you.
Well, man, I don't know what to say, man. I'm just thrilled to have you on the show, and you're a role model in the community, and keep up the good work, okay?
Always a pleasure, sir.